hitting the live button.
Yeah.
So here you go. Everybody should have something on their screen saying that we are going live on Facebook. If you do not want to be live on Facebook, now is your chance to jump off. So I want to welcome everybody tonight. I am Trish Gastineau, the owner of Simply Europe Travel, where we specialize in custom itineraries for Europe, and we love a wonderful river cruise. So tonight, I have invited Denise from Avalon Waterways to join us. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Christmas markets and then maybe answer questions in general about river cruising. So thank you very much for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat box, either on the Zoom if you're joining us on Zoom or in the Facebook Live. And Kent is going to be watching those. He's going to be watching the Facebook Live to see if there's any questions, and we will do our best to get those in. But thank you, and I'm going to hand it over for now to Miss Denise from Avalon. Denise, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Trish, for having me. And hi, everybody. How are you? And Trish has been such a wonderful supporter of Avalon Waterways. And we are here tonight to talk about a group that she has going in December on Avalon Waterways. Guess where? Christmas markets. You can see it right there on the screen. So thank you for having me, and thank you for choosing Avalon for your group. So we are here to give like a last minute push here because Christmas markets are very busy for 2023, and I heard now even for 2024, but we're seeing a lot of last minute bookings. And I know Trish and I just met a couple weeks ago and we were talking about doing this tonight, and there were a lot more cabins when you and I just met a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
so people
I want to think that there were at least 12 in the category P in the panorama suites, and we just don't have that anymore.
No. So it's filling up pretty quick. People are booking a lot of last minute, which is great. So let's talk a little bit about the cruise that Trish has booked. It is called the Romantic Rhine, but it's Christmas market, so it's a special interest cruise that we call it. It's December 15th from Zurich to Amsterdam. So what we'll talk a little bit is about Avalon, some of the differences with Avalon, but then we'll also talk about the itinerary and what to expect. So I did this very one about 8 years ago, the same week. It was absolutely gorgeous. You can see in the picture Strasbourg, I think was the most decorated of all the places that we went to. And it's just that they go all out, right, for the Christmas market. So it really puts you in the mood, and you have all these beautiful decorations. You know, I live in Florida, so you don't really see a lot of these markets and all these Christmas lights. And it's, 80 degrees in Florida in Christmas. So this puts you in the mood, right? So let's look at some of these here. So these are just some of the pictures of some Christmas markets. So here's the itinerary. So it's December 15th, 2023. So it's this year. Seems like it's a little ways away, but look where we are now. We're already in August, right? Time's flying. So there are some cabins left, not much, but there are a few of our panorama suites, which we'll talk about. And there are a couple cabins that are on the lower level. So when you look at a river cruise, and especially this one, so you'll see you fly into Zurich, but get on the ship in Basel, and then you go on towards Amsterdam. And what's nice about the river cruises, all these towns are built all along the river. So you dock, you get off, you're right there in town. We divide everybody up on the different excursions. All of these walking tours are included. And what's nice is because this is Christmas markets, you could just maybe not do a walking tour and just go to the Christmas markets. Or you could do a walking tour and still get some of the Christmas markets. So when I did this, I was already on the Rhine. So I actually kind of bagged some of the walking tours. and I just went straight to the Christmas markets. These markets are set up for the locals to do their shopping over the holidays, and they're absolutely beautiful. So all of these towns along the river, they all have Christmas markets, and it's nice because at night, if you're cruising, you can see them from the ship. So we'll first talk a little bit about Avalon and just some of the differences. You know, river cruising is like big ship cruising, right? Like they all go to the same places, but we all have our different niches and we just do it a little bit different. So big thing about Avalon, the cabins are larger, less people on board. So what you'll see is a picture of a lock, right? This is what makes river cruising possible now to get from river to river. So when you look at the right-hand side and you look at the picture of our cabins, the panorama ship is when we just decided to change the whole design of our cabins. And this is what we came up with. So the wall behind the bed is on a bit of an angle. And what that allows us to do is have the bed facing out. So that is a huge difference with Avalon. 80% of our cabins look just like this. The 11-foot sliding glass door, 7 feet of it open up, and look at that. So it's absolutely beautiful. You have a sofa right here, a chair right there. We call it, it's an open air balcony, open air suite. So again, 11-foot sliding glass door, bed facing out. So there are cabins that are on the bottom. Those have a window. Those are 172 square feet. There are a few of those cabins left. And then everything above that is just like this. There are 2 royal suites, but those are sold out, sorry. Those are 300 square feet. But when Trish books her next group, right, you can book one of the royal suites, right? So 80% look just like this. There are sound dampening walls, so you don't hear the people next to you. You have a flat screen TV. There's a refrigerator in all the cabins. If you maybe take some medication that needs to be refrigerated, you can put it in there. Plenty of room. They retrofitted all the cabins with USB outlets, which is nice. And the bathrooms are big. So they're hotel style bathrooms. Because we kind of angled the wall a little bit, it opened up the bathroom. These are larger than some hotels. I still pack horribly and I bring every hair product, all my makeup, all that stuff. But you have this big glass shelf, you have a big countertop, there's a little cabinet underneath, a glass shower door. It's not a shower curtain. So you have a big shower, big bathroom. They're absolutely beautiful. So what you'll see on Avalon 2, one of the key differences is the whole floor to ceiling window open feeling. It is throughout the whole ship. In the cabin, you saw that. You see this also in the main lounge, which you see in the picture right here. So you'll see it. We have a club lounge that's in the back of the ship. That's, again, from top to bottom, all windows. So it's very open, which is nice. So what's also nice about Avalon, you either have 126 people on board or 166, and everybody can fit in the main lounge. The main lounge is where you have your entertainment at night. In the back of the main lounge here is where we have a light lunch or a light dinner. This is where you meet every night before dinner, and the cruise director will talk about the next day. We'll talk about that night. So it's absolutely beautiful. And again, that whole floor to ceiling window open feeling. Here's the main bar, one bar on board. And there's that cappuccino maker back there, Trish. There are 2 of these machines on board. One here in the main lounge.
Machine.
I know. I want to bring one home, right? So there's one in the back of the club lounge also. And it's included cappuccino, lattes, hot milk for your hot chocolate. You can see on the left-hand side there going through that slider. That's where you walk in and the reception is, and you can even see from here, from this point, it's all open. Not a lot of walls. It's just it's a very, you feel like you're at home here. It's really nice. And then there's the back of the main lounge. So we have our club lounge also, like I said, that's on the back of all of our ships. So we'll talk a little bit about the meals on board. You have an early riser breakfast, and then you have the buffet breakfast. And then also lunch. It's either a light lunch in the lounge or we have the buffet. And then dinner, sit down dinner flex time from 7 to 8:30. And then in the lounge, we also have a light dinner. So we have beer and wine and refreshments included for lunch, beer, wine, refreshments included for dinner. And what we changed this year, instead of 2 for 1 happy hour, it's now included. So happy hour is on us an hour before dinner. And there's about 7 or 8 drinks that are on the menu that are included with the happy hour. It was funny. We had some like frozen items on there, but it takes too long, and people want to try to get all their drinks in for happy hour. And there's the bartender trying to make some pina coladas. So that's off the menu because you want to get in your happy hour drink. So there's quite a bit on there and that's included for happy hour. Right. So we're thinking about that's you guys, right? New. It is new. Yeah. And we're thinking about you guys for happy hour. We want you to be able to get all your happy hour drinks in, right? Yeah. Gotta love it. So this is at the back of the main lounge. Nice place to sit. We also have the top deck up on the top, which is beautiful. I lucked out when I did my Rhine Christmas market cruise. Like I said, it was the same week as you guys, and it was very mild. I have pictures of myself at the Christmas markets at night drinking Glühwein, and I have just a sweater. So you never know about the weather. It can be pretty chilly, but it can be very mild. It's like anywhere, right? So all the food, it's nice because the towns are all along the river. So we shop at the local markets. Also, if you have any food allergies, what happens is as soon as you come on board, they have a meeting. And then they talk about if you have any food allergies, can't eat that, sugar, gluten-free. And they actually take your picture and they kind of monitor the menu, and they come over and you meet the chef and they talk about, how they can help for the week. We talked about the flex dining, we talked about all the menus and venues. We also have an Avalon app. So before you go, you'll get a little reminder, time to download your app. You go on your phone, download the Avalon Go app, put in your invoice number, and all of your documents are right there in the app. And it's a pretty good app. And again, here's your itinerary. And then all of these towns are built all along the river. Some nights we're docked overnight. Some nights you're cruising, but there are Christmas markets all along the river. I also just wanted to show you a screenshot. This is just one of the days, and what you'll see is you have choices of excursions. So this is a key difference with Avalon. We have 3 different types of excursions. You won't see too many active excursions because it's a little bit colder at this time, but normally you'll see 3 different types of excursions: active, discovery, classic. But it's nice because you have choices. Let's say one of you wants to go to the Black Forest, or some of you want to go to where there's some winemaking. It's nice because you don't have to do all the same thing. So it'll also tell you day to day if you're docked overnight or if you're cruising at night. And then here are some beautiful Christmas markets. Look at those timbered homes and all that. Oh, it just puts you in the Christmas mood. Here's another one. I know. I
love a good Christmas market.
I know. And then this is in Amsterdam. I'm not going to go through the whole itinerary. I'll save it for when you guys go, but just wanted to remind you that there are only just, I think, 6, 7 cabins left. Let me just go back here. There are some of these cabins here that are available. I think there were maybe 2 A's, 2 P's. They're all the same. It's just where they are on the ship. If you want to be near the cappuccino maker, that's the P cabin. But the ship's not that big. If you do want to save a little bit of money, do have cabins that are on the bottom. Those have a window. It's not the floor to ceiling sliding glass door, but there are a couple cabins on the bottom that are also available. And Trish, you and I were talking before we got started. What's the promotion that you have for the group?
Right now, what I have for the group, and let me say, since we started, Dawn came in and the Reynolds came in, and they're actually sailing on this itinerary. Is
Nice.
that right, Ricky? I think that you guys are on this one.
We're going from Amsterdam to Basel.
Oh, okay. You're going the other way a little bit earlier than everybody else.
In mid-October, early October, actually.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good time to go. Nice.
Yeah, it's a great time to go. They are actually they got one of the royal suites, I think, didn't you, Rick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we got them. Yeah, we got them something special. But
It's
thank you
party
guys
in the
for coming
Reynolds
in
cabin, right? Party in the Reynolds
Yeah.
cabin.
Yeah, you're a
So,
happy hour, right?
yeah, exactly. So the happy hour, and then of course Dawn, my sweet friend Dawn, is also here with us. But right now we have when we spoke this afternoon with the groups department, we had 2 category Ps, which are on the panorama deck, the top passenger deck, which is my favorite place to be. We had 2 cabins on the next deck down, which was the category A, like Apple. We had one on the category B, which is the second passenger deck down, but further towards the back. Is that right, Denise?
Yes.
And then we had 2 guaranteed staterooms, which are the category E and D, which are the fixed windows. The staterooms are smaller. Some people euphemistically call those swan view rooms. I have to tell you, I've never sold one of those. I've been doing this a long time. I've never sold one of those lower cabin categories. It's not that it's horrible, but it's just nicer to be in a room with these panorama suites with these 12-foot wide windows that open up 7 feet. And especially if you start, going through the locks, like Denise showed us a picture of that ship going through the lock a few minutes ago. I don't know whether she can jump back to that, but when you are in one of the lower staterooms and you're going through a lock, it can get really dark. Also, if you're doing what's called rafting, which is like you are docked and another ship comes up and gets beside you and they tie up together, and you might have to go through another ship to get to the shore. Again, it's blocking the light. So I tend to like the higher stateroom categories there for those reasons. But right now, to get back to the question that Denise asked me, I have a special that is $12.50 off per person off of the cabin's rate, plus an additional $250 off group promo that we're able to put onto these staterooms. So for our groups, and we would love for you to get one of the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one of the 7 suites left on this specific sailing. And if this sailing does not work for you, we do have many others. We just like the idea, especially in Florida today. I think our heat index was like 112. Denise, what was yours in Tampa?
Oh God, yeah, it's like 110. That's why this looks really good right now, doesn't it? With hats and gloves.
Right, yes. Drinking the hot mulled wine and the Kinder Punch and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's nice. We have a couple of questions, Denise.
Oh,
So are the water levels adequate for cruising this year?
they are. Yes, they've been getting some rain. So we had a little bit of an issue on the Danube, but now it's fine, but it didn't really affect too much. So for us to be in August and not having a big issue, it's great. So yes, so
I've heard
far,
the same
knock
thing
on
as
wood.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, the good stuff.
And just so you know, if that does happen, and it can, there are different things that we can do on the river. ones, take fuel out, lighten the load because we really don't need a lot of water to go down the river. We can also do ship swaps. And because all the ships are pretty identical, makes it easy. So if there's a low water area, one ship comes down, the other one comes down the opposite way, and you swap ships. That is a very common way to get around low water, or you get off and you need to maybe motor coach a little bit and get everybody off and maybe go down a little bit more on the river. So there are different things that we can do. But yes, so far, so good. So far, so good.
Yeah. And one thing I would like to say about Avalon, some of you may know this already, but Avalon is in a family of brands owned by Globus, and Globus has been around for close to 100 years.
Mhm.
And their specialty is escorted motor coach tours. So if this were to happen, Globus family will take care of their family member Avalon, and they have the means to move people around.
Right.
So they've been doing it for close to 100 years. We'd rather that not happen, but it's always good to know that it could happen and what the plan is.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question that we have, it's a two-parter. How often are the rooms serviced and cleaned, like the sheets changed and stuff like that? And are the ships smoke-free?
So everything inside is smoke-free. There is a small area at the back of the top deck where there's a smoking section. Also, the sheets get changed daily, and then there's a turn down service.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. We'll skip
Chocolate on your pillow at night, right? When you
yes, make sure that you get it off, or you'll wake up with a smudge on your face. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay, so the Reynolds would like to know how his wife should dress during the mid-October cruise, please.
So I was on the Danube in the fall, and I know it's not the same, but the weather is pretty much the same. And it was very, it was doable during the day. So I had boots on with a jacket. So I layered. At night, it was a little chilly. So I just had a sweater. I had a jacket. Now I get really cold, so I had one of those poofer jackets. But I'm a Floridian. I don't like the cold, and the weather was perfect. I went the last week of October, and I did a Danube one, and the leaves were changing. It was crisp in the air. It was absolutely beautiful. So definitely layer, because it does get chilly at night. But I'm just thinking of my pictures because this was just a couple of years ago. But yeah, I just had my boots, jeans, and I had a poofer coat. And I did bring a hat just in case.
Okay, so while we're out walking around, we definitely know we want the comfortable shoes, and we never know what the weather's going to do, so it could rain. But like you said, I think layering is good. Once we get back to the ship and we're going to go to dinner, what should we expect there, Denise? Do we have to wear like cocktail dresses? Do the men have to wear jackets and ties?
No. We just ask for business casual, no shorts, no baseball hats, just business casual, no formal at all.
Okay, so a woman could wear
dress pants,
slacks,
definitely
a cute top or something, and she's going to be good to go.
Yeah, and I do see people wear like nice jeans to dinner. I usually just do black dress pants and just change my shirt.
That's kind of what I do too. Yeah,
but that's usually what I do. But I have seen people wear like nice jeans. Yes.
Denise, for the daily excursions where you're going out checking out a winery or whatever you're doing that day, is blue jeans acceptable?
Oh gosh, yeah. Yep, definitely.
Yeah. And you could get away with shorts. I know some people will wear shorts all the time.
In the fall. Yeah.
In the fall, you can get away with shorts. And as long as they're long enough, you shouldn't have any problem going through cathedrals and things like that. If they deem you to be not dressed modestly, you might have a little problem. But most of the time we're talking about for the Reynolds going in the fall, and then we're talking about this specific specialty cruise group that's going to go in December. I don't necessarily think women are going to be going sleeveless during that either one of those time of the year. But if that were the case, we would
Right.
just suggest a light little wrap or a sweater or something, and you should be good to go with that.
Yeah. Perfect.
You're muted. Unmute yourself, Kent.
Does Avalon still show movies, historical movies that were in the areas that you were about to go to? Because I remember when we were on our Avalon cruise going from Basel to Amsterdam, that we watched the movie about Martin Luther and the printing press and everything. And then we actually got to go to the museum and see that and everything.
They
did
do,
they-
yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, in the cabin, they'll have, there's a lot of movies in there, like regular movies, like new releases, but then there are some pertaining to where you're going, definitely.
So the new thing that's going on since the last time that we cruised is going to be that cocktail hour. And it sounds like that Denise says that they have got it kind of down to an art now. They're going to offer the beverages that they can get out to folks so that there's not a lot
Fast.
of waiting.
Right.
And that there's not disappointed people. I don't like my clients to be disappointed. I try to be friendly with all of my clients, and I treat them the way that I would treat my mom, my sister, or my daughter. And you guys do a pretty decent job of doing that too. So I really do thank you, Denise.
No
on
problem.
that.
Thank you for, yeah.
Yeah, we've known each other for a minute or
Oh,
two.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, when Trish was in Alabama, I saw you when I covered Alabama, and then all of a sudden I'm in my system going, oh, is there another Trish Gastineau? And I remember emailing you going, are you the Trish Gastineau from Alabama?
I love it. The is capital letters.
I'm like, there can't be another one. This is great. So yeah, we've known each
We
other
actually
for
have
quite some
one
time.
other, or we had one other Patricia Gastineau in our family. Sadly, Aunt Pat passed away, but yeah, so I get to be the second one. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Here I am in Florida now.
Yeah,
so,
we can't shake each other, right?
I know. Yeah, exactly. But so does somebody have a question that maybe we did not cover, or that we went so quickly that you missed being able to ask a question? Because if we've got Denise, man, we got to take advantage of her, because this is not necessarily a rare thing, but it's certainly, maybe a twice a year thing where we have Denise on the screen with us.
And I know, Trish, we were talking about what we want to do for 2024, right?
Yeah, well, I know you were telling me, oh yeah, let's look at these for 2024. And I was on there and I saw that there were some specials for 2025 that were offering group discounts of up to $4,000 off of a stateroom. And granted, they were like the 14 to 18 night kind of cruises, but there were some really unique things on there. We saw the ones that started in Amsterdam and went down to Budapest. We saw one that was starting in Germany, going on the Danube, stopping in Bucharest, that had a night in Bucharest and then 2 nights in Transylvania.
Yeah.
The Grand France was in there, and then just the normal 7 to 10 night, and even some smaller ones. That I've used some of your 5-night cruises for clients that were doing land packages in Europe that needed a filler. And it was a nice way for them to taste what a river cruise was like. So I've done that a couple of times, but the majority of my clients are 7 nights.
Right. So, I did the lower Danube last year in April. So I did Budapest to Bucharest with Transylvania, and it was truly wonderful.
I was so surprised at how Bucharest was, it was in my mind going to be different, and I was blown away.
Beautiful.
I was blown away.
In Transylvania, got to go to Dracula's castle.
Hey
I
Denise,
always think of Count.
I
can you
can.
tell us about the how early you can get on board on the first day of the cruise, and how late you can stay on the last day of the cruise?
Yeah, so you can get on at any time, and you have lunch and you can walk around town, but you can't get in your room until after lunch sometime. So that's something different that we came out with maybe a couple years ago. But now you can just pop on the ship, drop your bags off. If maybe you're there doing something else previous, or we bring you to the ship. And like I said, you have lunch and you can walk around town. And then the next day, it really just depends. A lot of people are heading out the next morning, because now you have people that are coming on. So people can, kind of hang out a little bit in the morning before they leave and they have their transfer. So it's totally up to the people that are on board if they want to get out and get to the airport, or if they want to stay on a little bit longer and just enjoy the ship, right? But most people are off usually before lunch.
It's one thing that's a lot different than if you were sailing on a very large vessel, an ocean vessel. You can't get on until, noon to 1 o'clock, and you have to be off by 9. With the river cruises, that's not the way that happens. And if you get an early morning flight, like the big cruise lines will say, don't have your clients fly before 12 noon. With you guys, you're usually in port the night before. And I personally have gotten up at very uncivilized hours, like at 3 a.m. to leave the ship to get to the airport to make a 6 o'clock flight. That's not a challenge for you guys, and I appreciate that.
Right.
So I do have another question, and this is good. Janet wanted to know, does Avalon cruise to the Holy Land? And I'm going to answer a part of that, and I'm going to ask Denise to tell us how we might make that happen. But you guys have Egypt, but not Israel. But how could we put those together, Denise?
Yeah, I mean, you could do, Globus has the Holy Land tours, and we have quite a bit of the Holy Land. So we could match it, but you do have Avalon Egypt with a Jordan extension, and then we can look at matching up Egypt, or just to do 2 back-to-back trips, right? You could do Egypt back-to-back with Israel. So there's a couple different combinations that you can do. So yes, we do have the Holy Land, but it's on the Globus side, and it's an escorted tour.
Okay, and then the nice thing is because they're family companies, we can do that, and it won't necessarily be seamless, but it's not going to be haphazard and thrown together either. So So best way to buy things, cash or credit card, and does the cruise line offer shipping for items purchased? I'm going to answer the first part of that. I have found that in Europe, using cash is much more common than using a credit card. A lot of the smaller shops and restaurants will not take credit cards, or will only take them for a purchase over a certain amount. And I'm seeing a lot of times that they will not accept an American Express card. They will lose a sale before they take an American Express card. So with that said, I always bring a couple $100 in US cash, but I always bring, for Kent and I traveling together, probably 300 to 500 euros with us to buy ice creams or coffees or smaller things. And then for the bigger things, we can try to use our credit card. Shops will, if you're buying like a set of glasses, like crystal glasses or something, a lot of times they will have ways to ship things home. But Denise, what about the ship? Is there anything that they can do to assist us?
Yeah, I was actually just on a call a little while ago and they wanted to ship, it was one of our excursions and they had a painting like whoever painted the kiss. And they went to this
Clint?
workshop and they wanted to ship it back. So Avalon helped them ship it back. But yeah, like on board the ship, you just give your credit card. You can, prepay your gratuities if you want to pay for your gratuities. And the thing is with this group, gratuities are covered because Trish has this group. But on board credit cards, but like Trish said, it's good to have cash on hand because of some of these local shops. What I always do is when I arrive, I usually go at the airport right to the ATM and just take some cash out. But like you also said, they don't accept American Express.
Yeah, I'm seeing fewer and fewer that are doing that. And thankfully, now most US credit cards have the chip in them. And for a while, Europe had them, but US did not have them. And I had a challenge using a non-chipped valid credit card in Europe because they did not want to swipe or key in. And the credit card company was like, well, they have to, legally, they have to. And I'm like, stand in a line in a country that you don't speak the language, and there's a teenage cashier and there's people behind you. And I'm not arguing with the cashier that she legally has to key that in, so because she doesn't know how. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, you just do you do what you need to do.
Right.
And that's just what I'm finding. So okay, another question here that we've got great questions. Besides the evening meal, does Avalon offer evening onboard entertainment?
We do. So usually in a week, we'll have 3 nights of local entertainment. And then where we don't have local entertainment come on board, some nights they'll have trivia night, karaoke. They just have a music playing. We did have a piano player, but we're trying to figure out what's perfect on board. So we changed it up a little bit this year, so we don't have the piano player every night. So now we just have a mix of the local entertainment with music playing and trivia and karaoke.
Yeah, and I like when you guys bring local entertainment on board. It's like they get on board after dinner or wherever we're setting sail, we're eating dinner, they're setting up, they do their thing, and then at the next lock, or we just stop someplace and they get off the ship. It's really
right.
I'm always fascinated by that.
I know, it's great, right? And they just hop from ship to ship, basically, right?
And again, I really like the locks. I like going through the locks. I like in the evening that I can go up and sit in the lounge and watch whatever entertainment or dance or whatever's going on up there, or I can go back to the back and sit in the rear lounge and get my coffee, because I love that coffee machine back there, and have my coffee, play cards, put together a puzzle, or just sit and read my book. There are a lot of things that we can do.
Yeah, you have that club lounge in the back. There are games back there, and you can take a book, leave a book. All the snacks are in the back there with the cappuccino maker.
Yeah. So, okay, now my husband, Kent, and I know what he's thinking about when he asked this question. Can one still explore the local town at night before the ship sets sail to the next destination?
Yeah. I mean, if we're there and we're docked at night, you can definitely walk around town. They'll tell you what time you need to be back on.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah,
I got us lost one time in Briar Sack or something maybe, and Kent said that we were he was in fear because I had us walking down alleys and stuff, but we're here, we're fine.
You survived. The ship didn't leave without you, right?
Exactly. So,
I love it.
okay. All right. We've talked about the happy hour that's now included for an hour before dinner. We've talked about the meals. We've talked about, oh, I don't know whether we talked about, there's breakfast, there's lunch, there's dinner on board the ship.
Yeah.
There's also
Tea time.
snacks in the morning. There's
Mhm.
early riser, there's late riser, there is snacks, there's afternoon tea. I dare
Yeah.
you to be hungry on this sailing.
Yeah,
Any
right. And
Avalon
I seem to,
sailing.
I used to always miss the tea time at 4 o'clock for some reason, but yes, that's every day
Yeah.
with some
The
cakes and
dress code
cookies.
during breakfast, you can go down in your shorts, whatever you're going to wear off the ship, and you can do
Mhm.
that. I don't think that you can go in your bathrobe.
No,
If
that would not be
so,
good.
that would be a no-no.
Yes.
You wouldn't do that in a hotel. But I have been known to book myself in the very last stateroom on the panorama deck and run like a crazy woman with my slippers and house coat, get a cup of coffee and run back to my room. I
Yeah,
will
right.
confess that I did it. Shh, don't tell Denise, okay?
Okay.
Don't get me in
No,
trouble.
that was
But
you, huh?
yeah. So I did that. And then there's a question: do we miss a lot of good scenery sailing at night? You're
Oh,
gonna miss
no,
some,
no.
but you guys have got it set up to where you know the most picturesque parts of the river.
Right. And some are sailing at night and some are docked at night. You'll when you look through the day-to-day itinerary, you'll see exactly when you're sailing and when you're docked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got it all figured out, right?
Yeah. And like if you're on the Rhine, one of my favorite parts is sailing, of course, through the beautiful Rhine River Gorge with all of the castles and the ruins
Right.
and everything.
Yeah.
That's always a daytime sail, and you sit
Right.
up on the top deck and watch it. If it's during the warmer weather, you sit up under the umbrella, the awning. If it's during the winter time, you get you a blanket and drink cocoa or coffee
Right.
and sit up there and listen as they make the announcements about what you're seeing. So
And don't forget when you're on the river cruise and you are, let's say in Rudesheim, and you buy some great wine, you can bring it on board. We don't confiscate any bottles of wine or any other
That's right.
alcohol that you're bringing on board. So some people bring a opener and, you can go up on the top deck and maybe buy some local cheese or bread and go up on the top deck or go in the club lounge or in the main lounge. And they just ask that you don't bring it to dinner just because we do have local wine that we serve at dinner. But definitely bring on some bottles of wine because you go through some really nice areas with some good wine.
And of course, at lunch and dinner, you guys include beer and wine, complimentary.
Right.
So yeah, we do have that. So we want to make sure that everybody knows that. Okay, you guys.
Hey, Trish and Denise,
Yes,
I'm
whoever
sorry,
said.
I got zapped with a thunderstorm going through and the power goes off. So
Oh,
I've got
gosh.
most of this on my cell phone. I'm back on my computer where I can really see what's going on. But a couple of questions here. What about laundry on the ship? Do you provide laundry services?
there is a small fee, but yes, we do have laundry services
Okay.
on board. Yeah.
And the happy hour you're talking about, does that start by April? Excuse me, by October?
Oh yeah, yep. Started in 2023 already. Yep.
Already there.
So
Okay.
you're good. Yep. Party on.
Yeah. So and that's right before dinner. Is that right? Do they do that when they're doing the port talk?
Yep. It's usually an hour before dinner. Yep. During port talk.
So it'll be up in the front lounge where the bar is up there. And so I've not personally experienced it myself. I have had clients that have done it, and it's very much appreciated.
Right.
So yeah.
Good.
Okay. All right. What else, you guys? Where do you want to go next? I mean, I've got 2 or 3 different little groups working. What's the next group that we should do?
Yeah, you were thinking what? Egypt, Mekong?
Yeah, I was thinking
Mm.
Egypt. We talked about the Southeast Asia, the Mekong. We talked about doing the Rhone River in southern France. So that's the thing. There's so many cool places, and I want to do everything.
Right.
I want to do everything is my problem. So
Me too. The new one is the Douro. The Douro starts next year.
yeah,
Next year would not be the time to book group space because there's not that much space left. But
yeah,
maybe
it
for
goes pretty quick.
2025. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in
Portugal is
Portugal.
so
Oh,
popular
yeah, and it's a
for
brand
land
new
and river
ship.
cruises.
Yeah, it's a
Is
brand new ship.
So Denise,
okay.
you don't know how much time Trish spent with me and my wife trying to talk her into doing this and doing it right and all that stuff.
Good.
And you guys need to knock it out of the park when we go in October, because I'd love to do the Danube and the Rhone and some of these others here.
Oh, good.
so-
Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
That's the story. So my next on my list is the Danube. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
good.
we can, you let me know. The nice thing is like they've already got 2025 itineraries out, Rick. So
Mhm.
if you're thinking you want to go in 24, we can make that happen. If you're thinking you want 25, we can make that happen. And then 26 will probably be out in the next 6 months, do you think, Denise? 7 months maybe
I'm
for
sorry, what did you
26?
say? Oh, 26. No, that won't be out for a little while. Yeah.
You
I'm
think?
not too sure exactly when, but yeah, we just launched yesterday, 2025.
Okay, all right,
And
so,
that's pretty early for us. Usually we don't come out that early. So right now you can book a 23, a 24, or a 2025, which is crazy. So yeah, so hopefully, I don't know when 2026, I'm not too sure. So I would give it a little bit of
well, we can
time.
expect that maybe in a year we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
26.
yeah,
So, which is still pretty early.
right.
So,
It's very much
yeah.
so. Yeah. Well,
And
thank you for
Rick and
having
his wife
me.
were lovely to work with.
Oh,
They said I
good.
spent a lot of time with them, but we laughed a lot.
Oh, she
We
is
had
a
fun.
great travel advisor. So,
she came highly recommended because we're in Tennessee. We're not in Florida.
ah, gotcha.
Had to chase her down.
I love it. Well, you're gonna love the
Yeah.
cruise.
Did Betty was the one that recommended you, didn't she?
No, it
Or
was
it
Marie Chenery.
Marie? Okay, yeah, yeah. Love Marie. Okay.
Marie's
All
in
right.
Ireland right now. So with
Yeah.
17 of her family.
Mm,
Yeah, she was telling me I talked to her a month or so ago, and she had told me that she was making that big trip, and I hope she's having a great time. Hope she is, but okay, guys, if you guys need anything else, please, I think that most of you've got my phone number. Oh, I know all of you guys have my phone number. This is being live streamed onto my personal Facebook page. So if you think to yourself, gosh, they said something and I'm really curious, just go to Trish Gastineau on Facebook and look back and you'll get to see this whole presentation, the questions that we asked, and the presentation that Denise had in here. And if you ask me a question, I will be honest with you on what I know. And if I don't know, I will tell you I don't know, and that I'm going to need to check. And people like Denise would be the first person that I would reach out to and ask. And then I know that Denise will tell me if she doesn't know, she will go and find out from who. So our goal is to make sure that you have the most accurate information and that you feel comfortable with being able to go on these cruises. So,
Thanks, guys.
thank
all
you.
right, well, I'm going to end the live stream here, and then we'll be